Hey, Scott here, and welcome back to my very humble garage gym. So if you're going to train in Kung Fu or any martial art, one of the most important pieces of equipment you can have is a heavy bag. So today I just want to demonstrate how to throw a straight punch and how to train it on the heavy bag. So generally when we're starting out in training in Kung Fu, we train all of our strikes in our horse stance, hands in chamber, and the chamber position has your palms facing up, forming a fist. You pull the elbows back, and you want to try and pull your elbows together behind your back as well. So there should be a lot of tension built up there when you're training. So you'll see in a lot of movies and in a lot of other classes where they're training, they'll be in a very loose kind of a horse stance, but the way I was taught it, get the elbows back as far as possible and squeeze them together, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Now when we're training the straight punch, we're pushing the elbow out in front of the hip and keeping everything in line. The elbow's in line with the shoulder, the elbow's in line with the hip, and the forearm is in line with the elbow, and the wrist is in line with the forearm. So everything is in alignment. We don't want to finish our punch with our wrist bent up or down or to the side or any which way. So as we're training this in our horse stance, push that elbow forward, and about halfway through the punch, we're going to rotate that forearm. And we're going to finish by striking with these two big knuckles. You always want to try and strike with the two big knuckles in order to avoid breaking your hand. You have a lot more bone support behind those two big knuckles compared to if you were to strike with the bottom part, the bottom two knuckles. So that's where people tend to break their hand the most, is those small bones in the hand behind those bottom two knuckles. So we strike with those two big knuckles. When we finish the strike, we don't want to have our arm fully extended so that we have an opportunity to hyperextend the elbow. We want to avoid that. So as we're finishing the strike, there still should be a slight bend in the elbow, as you can see here. And lastly, you always want to kind of aim through your target. So if you're training on the heavy bag, you're training to hit through your target, not right at your target. So you want to have some penetration in the punch. Now when you're training on the heavy bag, get in your horse stance, line up the hand that you're going to be working with your shoulder in the center of the bag, center line of the bag. Get yourself positioned properly so that you can get some penetration into the bag, and then work the strike. Initially you want to work it nice and slow, because the heavy bag, especially this kind of a heavy bag with a kind of a rough surface, most of the weight is going to be towards the bottom of the bag. So if you go at it too hard and you don't strike the bag with proper alignment, you're going to beat up your knuckles. If you strike with, just say, the point of that big knuckle, that'll swell up pretty quick. If you throw it at a glancing blow, you're going to scrape your knuckles and they'll start to bleed. And it's no fun training on a heavy bag when your knuckles are bleeding. So get nice and deep in your stance. And that's your straight punch. So I'm going to be covering, some basic strikes and kicks in future videos on this channel. So check it out. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you're up to date. And we'll see you down the road with future videos. Oh, and don't forget to check out my website, scottallencole.com. Thanks for watching.